YouTube, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to one of my Julie knitting crafts. So I did make the doll already. This video is not going to be about how to make a doll, but I used this one and she's called Aurora, I believe. I'm not sure, maybe I pronounce it wrong, but yeah, I made her just, I don't know, I went to my craft room and I decided to make a doll, so I made her, and then I decided she needs to go on the moon. So I took some of my beloved pizza packaging. This is from Costco and I always keep it. I cut it into pieces and keep it because, yeah, it's just the best thing ever if you want to make something sturdy. So it's a good packaging. Now I need to draw the moon, and I wanted to see how big the moon needs to be. I don't know, maybe there is a better way to draw a moon. You could use a plate or anything actually that's round, but I had this thing which I don't know the name in English. So I tried to make a moon. And as you can see, I'm trying to like size it up and move it around. And I think it's not that hard to draw one. You can even draw it by hand, but knowing myself, everything is going to be crooked. So I decided I definitely need to draw it this way. And the packaging is big enough, so I was happy with that. And I did put my doll on there a couple of times just to be sure that I like the size and everything. And I did not. I liked the shape of it, but something felt wrong. So I took my pencil and I started drawing by hand. I needed it to be a little bit thicker on the bottom and on the top, but it's really easy, as you can see. So all I'm gonna do is just draw it a little bit thicker, going to the middle. The middle stays the same, as you can see, so that's just what I did. I can draw a moon, yay! Oh no, the middle doesn't stay the same. Okay, I lied again. So I'm going to draw and then cut it out. I believe that's the shape I liked, and as you can see, I'm looking again because this is going to be like my biggest piece and I really wanted it to be good. So I have the scissors from Tim Holtz and I wanted to show you, and I love them. I only got the short ones. I really want to have the longer ones, but my Joann's doesn't carry them, or they always sold out. I'm not sure about that. So however, I will just go ahead and cut out the moon real quick. And once I'm done, because this is not sturdy enough, I'm going to do the same thing once again on another piece of packaging. And I'm going to do this 3 times. So I'm going to just trace it and then I will cut 3 of them because I really wanted them to be sturdy. Once I have cut out all 3 of them, as you can see, all I'm gonna do is just use some art glitter glue, my favorite glue. And that's not an advertisement. It actually is, but it's not paid. But guys, if you don't have this glue, I would say go get it. It's a little bit more pricey than your normal glue, but I'm sorry, I can't talk today. It's more pricey, but I'm telling you, this glues everything. So if I would have done this with my paper glue, I would have never had the result I need. And this is perfect for flip books too. You know, we would always use double-sided tape, but it comes off. But the art glitter glue, it does not come off anymore. Once it's glued, it will stay glued. So that's my favorite glue, and it goes a long way. So this bottle, I'm having it for almost a whole year now, you know. And you can find it on Amazon. because somebody asked me and they couldn't find it. Michelle got mine from Amazon. And I also use a bone folder every time, or I try to use it every time. As you can see, there is leftover from, because the pieces are not exactly the same, but all I'm gonna do is just to snip them off, and I will do the same thing to the third moon piece as well. And I will just always cut off the leftover pieces first, because it's easier. It's harder if you have glued all three of them and then you try to cut it straight. It's harder for me because it hurts my hands. So now I have glued all three of them, and I cut off all the leftover pieces. And as you can see, where I'm trying to show you that the edges, you can see three pieces of paper on the side, and I don't really like it. That's why I'm going to take some sandpaper. You can use it with a nail file, I'm not sure how you call that, and do just the same thing. And I'm just going to sand it off a little bit, and I believe I'm going to show you that in a second. But I have seen that the corners of my moon are not glued properly, so I'm going to put way too much glue on there. But now it's gonna be stuck forever. And I'm checking the other corner, and it was actually glued, but just in case, I put a little bit more glue on there as well. And you can just take off this glue off your fingers. You rub your fingers and it just falls off. And it will dry clear as well, so that's a very, very good thing. I'm just in love with this glue. So, rubbing the glue off my fingers, and I will just sand it off. You see the difference? You can see it already. I know the cam doesn't pick it up that good, but you can see it already that it looks more like one piece and not three pieces. So I'm just gonna go all around my moon from the outside and from the inside and make sure that everything is sanded off a little bit. Now the sanding is done, and I'm picking out my paper, and of course I want to go with white glittery paper, and I want to put it in the front and in the back of my moon. So I decided to go with the normal glittery paper for the back and the super duper glittery paper for the front. Both of them I did buy at Joann's. I always get it when they go on sale. I believe, I don't know, 12 for $2. It comes out to be like 15 or 16 cents for each sheet of paper. So every time I go stock up, especially with the very glittery paper, and they have the very glittery paper in blue and red, and I do actually have it on my doll, and it's blue. Now I'm also going to use some gesso. I always want to say gesso because that's how I would read it in German. I want to use it on the outside just because I'm not sure what's gonna be there on the outside later, and if I don't put anything on there, then I don't want the color of my packaging to be visible. So I'm just going to go like from the inside line and the outside line, and I will also do a little bit on the moon as well, just in case, you know, you can see anything. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's actually, you know, gesso you use for something completely different, and I should have used just normal paint, but I do not have any white paint, so I decided to go with that. And I like to work with gesso, and for some reason I just like to feel it on my fingers as well. Later on I will just, you know, dip my fingers in there and work like that. I don't mind, I just like that. So see, I'm just making it white. Just in case anything is visible later, I covered it up. Normally I work backwards and I never do things like that, but I was smarter this time. I'm just gonna do it all around the moon. And no, I'm not going to let it dry first because I'm not patient enough. I'm going to just trace it onto my paper, and Don't forget to flip your moon to trace it onto the other sheet of paper, because the back and the front, I feel like I need to flip my stuff so it's more perfect. However, I will just trace it on both pieces of my paper and I will cut it out just like I did with my packaging, and then just glue it down. And once again, I'm going to use the art glitter glue right there, and I just make sure that I get enough on the edges and in the corners. And later on, once the paper is on there, I will use my bone folder to just, kind of squish it around. I don't know the right word for that, but I just move the glue so it gets everywhere. I was not doing that at the beginning of my crafting, and I would get air bubbles. So if you have anything, it doesn't have to be a bone folder, just anything flat, try to push on whatever you are gluing and kind of move it so the glue gets everywhere. Or of course you can use like a brush or your finger for the glue, but that works very well. As you can see, I'm pushing on my bone folder. I'm not just kind of being careful. I'm pushing down really good because it is pizza packaging, I don't know how well it's gonna stick, so I'm making sure that it sticks really, really good going around. And at this point, I look at this thing and I think it looks like a moon. I do have a little bit of kind of funny looking edge there, but I think I took care of it later. So, and as you can see, it has paper sticking out as well. So what I'm gonna do is just once again go around the edge and cut it all off, and then I will stick the second piece of paper on the top of my moon. So once both papers are on there, I want to make sure that she still fits on it. Like something happened and she might be too big or too small now. But no, I wanted to figure out actually, because I never have a plan. I wanted to figure out what I'm going to do, I wasn't sure and I just wanted to see. And then I saw that I cut pieces of my gesso away when I was cutting the leftover parts, and there, as I told you, I'm just going to dip my finger into the gesso and then do it. And I started out doing, really carefully just this part, but then I kind of messed up and came a little bit over the edge and put some gesso onto the glittery paper, and I was like, I don't like that, but I couldn't do anything anymore. So my brain was thinking, and I decided really quick to just go ahead and put gesso all over. I believe somewhere here I messed up and I did something on the glittery paper, and then I decided real quick to just put it all over. So I started putting it on the visible edge of the moon, because I thought, hey, I could actually distress the edge, and the distress ink is not going to stay on the glittery paper, but on the gesso part, and it will cover up my mess and everything is going to be all right. That's my way of thinking when I craft. I'm not afraid to make mistakes or try something because I know that I can cover it up. And as you can see, there, that's what I'm doing now. So never be afraid of trying something new while you craft or messing up, because you can always do a cover up. And if not, and that never happened to me yet, but if you cannot cover something up, just make a new one. It's just paper, girls. So don't get upset or stressed out. I'm going to do it for a while because I'm going to do it from both sides of the moon. So now I'm just going to let the whole thing dry. As you can see, it's all on there. And I hope you enjoyed the first part of my I don't know, 3 parts, I guess. And yeah, share, subscribe, give me a like, and I will see you in my next part. So bye bye for now.